So MENA 2050 is a unique, non-political organization bringing together exceptional individuals from across the MENA region to work together on the future of the region and suggest a more promising, hopeful future for the year 2050. So what were we thinking when we started discussing that in 2020? The idea was that throughout history, this region has had immense geostrategic and global importance because of its location, because of its natural resources, the religious and cultural treasures. But unfortunately, for many decades now, the people in the region have suffered from violence, from wars, from religious intolerance, extremism, sectarianism. And all of these factors badly affected the region and prevented it from fulfilling the promises that it holds for the people living there. And all these factors also led many people to, especially young people, I would say, to a lack of hope in general and to mistrust in political processes in particular. And we felt there was, I would say, a conflict resolution fatigue that made people lose hope. Okay, they felt that the conflicts in which they were involved could never be solved. And add to that extremism, regional economic failure, lack of opportunity for young talented people. All of that increased the multi-layered crisis in the region. But at the same time, people felt that all these conflicts have consumed too much effort and resources that could have been invested in tackling real problems that people in the region face every day. So you take the COVID-19 pandemic, you take climate change crisis. These issues very clearly show how cross-border effort and cooperation is needed, because none of these issues is a problem that can be dealt with in any one country separately from the others. And in recent years, we felt that the region was going through some significant positive changes. Among them, the inking of the Abraham Accords, the fact that we have social media that connect people regardless of the political barriers that used to stand in the way in the past, and the feeling that more and more countries in the region see security and stability through cooperation as something that's essential for their national security. So all these positive changes encouraged us to take action, and we formed MENA 2050 on the belief that these changes will create a new dynamic in the region and lead to a better cross-regional exploitation of all the resources in the region for the benefit of all the people living there. We also believe that there's a dire need for an inspiring yet achievable, workable vision for the region. So we established the group MENA 2050 as a neutral, non-political, and quiet regional track-to platform with the aim of bringing people together from long politically conflicted countries, allowing them to strengthen civil society and work together on coming up with creative solutions to a variety of regional challenges in 20 different domains, such as climate change, healthcare, education, and so on. We made a commitment to enrich the conversation on all these issues in an effort to promote hope. Hope is a key word in what we're doing, well-being, prosperity, and stability in the region. However, we shy away from politics. We do not focus on solving conflicts as such. So this innovative effort is first of its kind, large-scale regional civil society effort to promote good relations between people in the region, to establish constructive, sustainable partnerships. We brought on board hundreds of experts from across the region, 20 different countries in the region, from Morocco to Iraq. These people show their commitment to the organization by becoming members of the organization. They collaborate and provide guidance and advice on the best ways to sustainably tackle all sorts of social, economic, and environmental issues. We try to broaden the regional dialogue and zoom out in a way from the everyday political issues, trying to put them in a wider context. So if we take, for example, the story I was starting with of my own Iraqi family living in Iraq. So I think this story shows you how Jews and Arabs have been living in this part of the world for millennia. So why then should we succumb to the belief that a decades-old conflict between Israelis and Palestinians is intractable? And there you go, John. I used the I word, just for you. So why should we define the conflict solely by define the relations between Jews and Arabs solely by the conflict? I mean, there are so many other issues that we can take into the picture. All the other countries in the region always saw this conflict as part of their problem. So they have an important role to play in becoming part of the solution that will allow us to move forward. And what we need is a broader perspective to look into all the issues at hand, to allow people to work together and experience success in working together and solving mutual problems. The idea is that we build a strong, diverse, multinational community around the cause of sustainable regional development and bring great ideas to make great impact, to help break psychological barriers, to mitigate, I would say, the emotional sensitivities of conflicting narratives, and to promote collaboration among people from across the region. So what we get from our members is their commitment, their voices, their skills to the organization. And in return, what they get from us is an opportunity to be a part of a strong regional network that allows them to use their skills in an effective way. They see how they can change the reality. They come up with workable solutions to real problems in real life. They have a role to play in changing the region in which their children will grow up. So that's something that's very motivating for them. And even though, as I said, we do not focus on solving conflict, there is no doubt in our mind that this initiative, being so large-scaled, will eventually also create channels that will allow create all sorts of processes that will end up with on the political level of solving conflicts in the long run. So a few months ago, we decided to stop operating quietly. We launched a website, registered MENA 2050 as a non-profit organization in England, outside of the region, as another means to make it neutral to the politics of the region. We established an international advisory board led by John, an executive committee with 19 members from 12 regional countries. We created a policy and advocacy center that serves as a hub for policies and projects on the 20 different domains we focus on. The powerful network of the people in the group will allow us to advocate for these policies and projects to be implemented. And this way, our bottom-up efforts will be complemented by top-down efforts by all sorts of decision makers in politics, in academia, in business society, in civil society, etc. As we speak, our members are creating all sorts of mechanisms and working groups within this policy center to tackle regional challenges and look into regional opportunities. We established a unique climate action committee that brings together experts from across the region and the world to prepare our region for climate change, find practical solutions that will allow decision makers to implement in the region. We are now establishing a regional health committee, bringing together experts from across the region. They will start by drawing lessons from the COVID-19 crisis and see how to adapt the regional healthcare systems in all aspects of their operation, drawing from these lessons. Other groups are looking into regional religious tourism tours, educational programs, cultural programs. We even have a group exploring the opportunity of bringing together people for regional sports games. The whole process is democratic. All the members of the organization are welcome to join any working group, any committee, and contribute from their talent and their experience. They can also nominate other people from their networks to become members of this network. We also plan to establish a regional leadership academy that will bring together the young superstars of the region, teach them about the regional challenges, about the regional opportunities, allow them to work on our projects using the network that they developed in this academy. And in fact, Oxford could be the potential institute to host such an academy. So of course it goes without saying that peacemaking is no longer a task that is reserved solely for political and diplomatic leaders. In some cases, these leaders cannot engage in making peace when the public in their countries has not been educated enough about the advantages of peace, of cooperation. In some countries, internal political issues can also become an obstacle. And this is where people-to-people initiatives can thrive. And they can drive mental and political changes that will allow leaders after that to become more bold in the diplomatic maneuvers. They can also allow leaders to test the waters in a way, okay, to allow such initiatives to happen and learn from these initiatives how their public refers to such international issues without paying any political price. And they also allow people from across borders in the region to engage with each other and create a reality of people-to-people cooperation that will then set the stage for government-to-government reconciliation. And this is exactly what we want to do in MENA 2050, bring cooperation and development that will lead to peace while leaving the policies and politics for the politicians for a later stage.